I talk a lot about on my show about the 95%. In a 2019 study, it was determined that 95% of Americans do not eat the daily recommended minimum intake of fiber. What is fiber, you may be asking? I don't know. I'm American. What the hell is that? Fiber is vegetables. 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables. Why? I mean, I could write a whole fucking 700-page book about why. But needless to say, having a country that has such a horrible, horrible diet results in extremely horrible outcomes. I also reference other studies that have said about 88% of Americans have a form of metabolic syndrome, either developing, seriously developed. What is metabolic syndrome? Metabolic syndrome basically means your metabolism is fucked up. It's fucked up. Now, again, there's different degrees of being fucked up. You could have, like, mild metabolic syndrome because, like, you know, you got sick or something and you stayed, you know, you slept in bed for, like, fucking, I don't know, 3 weeks or something or whatever, and you could slow down a little bit. Or you could be, like, 48 and you've never eaten a salad in your entire life and you're fucked up. Metabolic syndrome is usually a marker that leads to pre-diabetes. But anyway, so we have a new study that's come out that is very related to these statistics that I often talk about on my show, but it uses a little bit of different data metrics and data points. Most Americans have poor cardiometabolic health. Metabolic health. Here's what they can do to change that. Eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and adopting better sleep habits can make a big difference, scientists say. The medical community has been concerned about Americans' cardiometabolic health for years, but the crisis appears to be getting worse. Less than 7% of U.S. adults are in good cardiometabolic health. Less than 7%? 93% of adults in the United States of America have a fucked up goddamn system. They're fucked up. 93% are fucked up. A new study suggests, but what exactly does cardiometabolic health refer to, and how can people improve their own health? Read more, I'd love to. What is cardiometabolic health? Cardiometabolic health is a spectrum of conditions and risk factors that often occur together and are a significant cause of cardiovascular disease. They include metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, obesity, high cholesterol, and blood pressure. Each of these factors can increase the risk of heart disease. Diabetes in particular more than doubles the risk of cardiovascular disease, but when combined, they increase the risk of experiencing an early heart attack, stroke, or peripheral vascular disease, according to the Cleveland Clinic. A lack of physical activity is also a significant contributor to poor cardiometabolic health. The researchers found Americans are not only not exercising as much, but they also are living more sedentary lives. Well, we know that cardiometabolic health among Americans is a significant problem. We were surprised by the magnitude of the crisis. Researcher Megan O'Hearn, a doctoral candidate at the Friedman School of Nutritional Science and Policy of Tufts University, told the U.S. News that the lack of good health and well-being across the board is truly devastating and is only getting worse. One of these things that I would want to bring up that's adjacent to this, cars. Americans love their stupid fucking cars. They love cars. You ever ask an American how much they love cars? I love cars. I can have damn freedom. Cars. Like, imagine this. Like 100 years ago, most people were walking around every day to get to the fucking store, to get to the fucking market, right? Most people were walking around. Now, most people drive cars everywhere. The only walking that an average American adult is going to be doing is walking from the bed or the couch or the lazy boy to the car, and then walking from the car into the store, and then walking around the store, and then walking back to the car, and then reverse. Okay? That's the average walk cycle of an American adult. We don't walk anymore. Now, personally, I don't have a car. I don't even know how to drive. I just say fuck that whole thing. I'm not interested. But again, imagine a society where we had walkable cities. Imagine if the grocery store was, I don't know, 12-minute walk from your home. Right? And then you walk to the grocery store, and then you walk around the grocery store, and then you walk home. So, my opinion, I mean, we could talk a lot about societal factors, right? But any excuse to bring up cars. I hate cars. I think cars are some of the worst things that have ever happened in American history, especially. But I'm huge on the anti-car position. The number of U.S. adults with healthy weights and blood sugar continues to decline at a fast pace. Researchers found the study includes 55,000 adults who answered a National Health and Nutrition Survey between 1999 and 18. In 1999, 1 in 3 adults were at a normal weight, but that had dipped to 1 in 4 by 2018. And the number of adults living without prediabetes or diabetes dropped from 6 in 10 to less than 4 in 10. People with prediabetes have blood sugar levels that are elevated but not high enough for a diabetes diagnosis. Folks, again, I want to remind you all that we are fucked. As a society, we are fucked. Now, again, a lot of people wonder, you know, this is mostly a political show, right? So let's bring this back into politics for a little bit. Right? How is it that we have a society that is so polarized? Where we have people marching around with swastika flags all across the country, right? Where we have people that say and do the most ridiculously fucking stupid, low IQ, bird brain shit imaginable, right? Well, I would argue one of the reasons why people are so fucking horrible at socializing with one another is because people's bodies are broken. 93%, according to this new study, of people's bodies are broken. They're fucking broken. They're broken. They're not working properly. It's like if you have a computer, right? I love to make computer analogies. You have a computer, and then let's say all the parts of the computer are full of dust. Your fans are broken. There's dust everywhere. Right? And then you spill water inside the case. And then you're surprised that the computer isn't loading anything. And you're surprised when the shit starts glitching up. Why would you be surprised? You fucking destroyed the fucking computer. All the parts, all the components are being destroyed. Right now, imagine, right? Everyone walking around, 93% of Americans are literally living inside of broken bodies. But it's not just that you're living inside of a broken body and you're dealing with a broken body. Your brain is an organ in your body. When your body is broken and not functioning properly, it affects your consciousness. It affects how you speak. It affects your mood. It affects your emotions. It affects how you engage with one another socially. So think about this, right? We always wonder, oh, how did we get so fucked up as a country? I would argue that 93% of Americans being extremely unhealthy, that's probably going to result in any country being fucked up and coming apart at the seams. So I'm just throwing that out there. There is an extremely high chance that you are broken. There's an extremely high chance that if you're not broken, anyone you talk to at any time is broken. And again, a lot of people love to believe in this, like, you know, dualistic kind of, oh, our bodies and our brains are separate. We have a soul, brother. Like, no, your brain is an organ. Your consciousness is the collection of your body's experiences processed through your brain, sensory input, signals from all across your body. If your liver not doing so good, it's going to result in your brain not doing so good. Right? You ever, think about this in this fashion, right? If you drink alcohol and you become drunk, that makes it so that you are less coherent, right? You ever get blackout drunk? Raise your hand if you've ever been blackout fucking shit-faced, white girl wasted. Because I do that every once in a while, right? When you are white girl wasted, right? And let's say your fucking mom calls you. My mom can't call me because she's dead. But let's say your mom calls you on the phone, right? And you're trying to talk to your mom. You don't even remember this happening, right? But, she tells you like a couple days later, yeah, I called you on the other day. And you were like incoherent. You were crying and snob all over, You're going to be like, what? Now, why is that? Well, because alcohol, right? It slows down your body, right? Your liver is being overwhelmed by a poisonous material. Now, I personally consider alcohol pretty enjoyable every once in a while. Hey, whatever. But now imagine you get drunk and then you never recover. Now, imagine you're an alcoholic and you get drunk every day, all day, and you're never sober. Right? So that's basically 93% of Americans. They basically are in some way or another, not necessarily drunk, right? But in some way or another, they are not completely sober. They are on some sort of drug that's affecting their body, slowing down their ability to think, slowing down all the processing that they can do in the world, slowing down their emotional response, slowing down their logic response, right? That's 93% of Americans. So I hope that analogy worked out for y'all, but I don't know, man. Like, what do we do in a society where literally everyone is fucked up? Like, their bodies are not functioning? The researchers also found that cardiometabolic health varied by sex, race, ethnicity, and education. Adults with less education and those who are Hispanic or black were less likely to have good cardiometabolic health. The reasons for that are because if you are not educated, you don't know what vegetables are, you never heard of them, right? How are you going to have a healthy human body? How is your fucking digestive system going to be functioning properly if you've never eaten a salad in your entire adult life? I want everyone, raise your hand if you've eaten a salad in the last 2 weeks. Just raise your hand. Have you eaten a salad in the last 2 weeks? Hit me up. But again, it's also people that are poor, people that are more likely to be poor, right? They're less likely to have the time to do research. They're less likely to know what to research. They're less likely to be able to afford things that help their bodies, right? This suggests that social determinants of health, such as food and nutrition security, economic stability, and structural racism, may be contributing factors. The researchers noted they called for better access to healthy foods and more education on how to achieve a healthier diet. How to improve cardiometabolic health. To start, eat a diet mostly comprised of whole, unprocessed vegetables, some lean meats. I'm going to say skip the meats. I'm going to say skip the fish. Whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, dairy, and extra virgin oil. I'm going to say probably skip the dairy as well. Spices and herbs for seasoning. Fish, green leafy vegetables, onions, tomatoes, blueberries, yogurt. Maybe you don't need the yogurt. And oats are particularly good for cardiometabolic health. Also keep alcoholic consumption to an occasional treat. Finding more ways to move throughout the day is also important. Researchers emphasize that it is not enough to go to the gym a couple of times a week. People need to be moving throughout the day, every day. Some people have found that using standard standing desks at work or holding walking meetings can help decrease sedentary time. So can limiting screen time at home. Better stress management and getting a good night's sleep every day can also optimize cardiometabolic profile, scientists say. Another thing that happens with a lot of people is they don't sleep enough. Most Americans are chronically deprived of sleep. If you're only sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night. Now, again, I know that there exists like a certain gene where it's like you only need 4 hours of sleep and it's the equivalent of the average person's 8 hours. But let's be honest, I want to look more into that. But let's be real, everyone watching the show doesn't have that goddamn gene, okay? So, this is another big reason why I promote the lucid dream stuff. I'm still working on that, by the way. I'm going to do a lucid dream show. I'm still working on it. Bear the fuck with me. It'll happen eventually. But, yeah. In my opinion, 7 hours is the ideal amount of sleep you want to get. That's my opinion. 7.5-ish, I would say, is my golden zone. But again, if people are working multiple jobs, people have kids, they got to take their kids to school or whatever, all that shit. Right? And then it leaves to them, it's like, well, if I'm going to be sleeping 8 hours a day and I'm going to be working 20 or rather 10 hours a day, right? How about and then the rest of that time I have to fucking deal with my stupid fucking kids. I don't even have time to fucking watch a goddamn show on Netflix, right? So people end up staying up a little bit later, sacrificing their sleep just to get a little bit of leisure time in. And that leads to a lot of problems. So, again, every aspect of your body and your health, all the food you eat, right? The sleep you get, the water you drink. It's important. It's important. So anyway, there you go. 93% of Americans are fucked up. I used to cite the 88% of Americans that have some form of metabolic syndrome study from, I believe that was 2018. But now I'm going to be citing the 93% of Americans that have poor cardio-metabolic health. They're fucked up. They're fucked up. So while we're talking about masturbation in the chat, let's be honest. If you want to tell me what is more healthy, masturbation or playing a video game, let's be real. Masturbation is much more healthy than playing a video game. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. Is masturbation as healthy as walking a couple miles? Probably not. But it's a lot healthier than playing a video game, let me just tell you. That being said, I'm going to be playing a video game live on stream later today at 1 o'clock. So if everyone wants to show up, I'll play the video game. You can masturbate while watching me. It's a win-win. 1 p.m. I'm going to play some Doom. Check it out, folks. Also, today, 11 goddamn motherfucking 30. Cooking with the bitch. It's happening. It's back. Cooking with the goddamn bitch.